Hey folks, Brian, good morning. Hey, we got to play RQG last night and it was a weird session for me. Um, I've never really had to drag players to be involved. Okay, so anyway, we're still in this dragon maze on the hero playing, and Juchi and Davin are being indoctrinated by the dragon spirit. And, well, without published materials, I had to do what I could, and so I have in fact grabbed the non-conical a mongoose or a mongoose traveler too mongoose Runequest second age stuff, specifically their Empire of Worms friends things. Because there's a rumor in one of the I think it's the GM's pack. There's a rumor about there being uh, uh, ruins of the Empire Worms friends underneath the Boulder ruins, and so I ran with that. There is in fact this piece of city that's been you know succumbed onto the ground. That's not even a real word, is it? Anyway, um, and so I created this maze that mimics the uh, the world dragon as as demonstrated by Dragon Pass in the mountains and where the true dragons are, kind of thing. And how the mouth is by the Chateau Plateau, and then the breath is the volcanoes south of there, and the mountain ranges are wings and that kind of thing, right? And so this baboon sorcerer trying to create a basilisk is looking for the perfect storm of events and points of power and access and stuff. And so there's a section in this shape that's the genitals of the dragon, right? Even though we all know that dragons are genderless, but that plateau area, and I made plateau areas at different spots, and there's even this dragon newt rune uh, overlaid on top of everything. And each of the points of the dragon newt runes, I had dragon newt scouts, right? And they're there to use riddles to teach people dragon spells, right? Now, not dragon spells as in dragon newt powers, which is something that I was thinking to myself. I was helping clean the church this morning, and I was thinking as I was vacuuming, going, well, two things. One, this dragon cult that Juchi and Davin are being indoctrinated to is going to be essentially a spirit cult, so there's not going to be a whole lot of necessary conflicts with their own cults. And the other thing is we're told that dragons are rife with magic, but in the bestiary there's no magic at all listed, none. Um, so do you imply then that dragon newt magic is this dragon magic that they're rife with? And if so, you know, a dragon on the ground, tripling his size, doubling his strength, increasing his claw damage. He's already got a breath weapon. He doesn't need to have the other breath weapon, but the power soaking from the eyes, they would completely destroy. And this is just a dream dragon, right? So I can kind of see, dragons doing some of that kind of thing, since dragon news do it, right? And there is in the GM pack, yeah. In fact, that's exactly what I was getting to. There's a dragon scenario, right, in the Game Master Adventures, and that dragon, Dream Dragon, they give her. I haven't looked too far forward into it, but they give her um, spirit magic spells. Oh, and rune spells that are treated like spirit magic, and enthrall power. Sorry, spoilers. But and all the other game playing I've been in fact, there was an RQ3 game that I was, I don't think I was in, I think it was adjacent to, because the GM and I were just talking about stuff and it was going on in his game. I think that's why I was off somewhere else and he was running the game back home. Where what he did to make dragons rife with magic was he gave them spirit magic spells that could be manipulated with sorcery skills. And so when you're doing demoralize at a range of 2 kilometers for a duration of 1 day, that's dragon magic, right? And so I was thinking the same sort of thing, but what I've kind of got in my background is giving them a matter of access to spirit magic, rune magic, and sorcery, but they're all run like spirit magic. Now, I should probably allow the sorceress manipulations, though. That would be cool. That would be interesting on how that would work. But I haven't really gone that far, right? Still thinking. So, where's this rife with magic? There's nothing in the bestiary about it. Um, and then the one example we have from published materials is treating rune magic as spirit magic. Power times 5 to do kind of stuff, right? Is there anything else? Yeah, it costs magic points instead of rune points. So I'm not sure. But anyway, so this pocket dimension, right, in the hero plane, this dragon maze, that's shaped like a dragon, dragon newt rune interposed on top of it, and I've got these different spots, places, the claws, the ends, the tips of the wings, and the tail, and this kind of stuff, where they can run into, dragon newts representing, dragonness. And there's a one dragon newt where they're fighting, and he would, if he lost, he would teach them from, Mongoose Runequest, a draconic dance or martial art. And then I've got the little dragon newt things teaching dragon spells. And now the spirit dragon thing, I just pulled out my back pocket because we had dead characters. And I didn't want them completely, you know, dead, not doing anything, right? So shoot, this is the dragon. Okay, we're talking about true indoctrination to a dragon cult, and that's going on. And I should have had a dragon newt here at this spot as well, because it's actually one of the points of the dragon newt rune. And so as they're trying to do stuff like that, they take the baboon sorcerer's bodies and toss it out into the mist, and then they, okay, you and me, we're gonna grab this, we're gonna grab David, and you and her grab Juchi, and let's get out of here. There are 5 paths leading from this spot. Maybe there's something else out here. No, we just came to kill this thing, and that's it. We're done. Okay, so weirdness again, right? So okay, they backtrack. Well, there's a connection on the Dragon Newt Rune road, where it was seemed kind of obvious, this connects. So they went forward. Yes, it does connect, and so it got up to their path that they came on. So they're backtracking the entire way, and when they get to the original plateau, some congestion this morning. The dragon spirit tells Dave and Juchi, "Oh, I've got to go," and he breathes into their face, and they wake up on the plateau, and the plateau's the actual plateau with the rope bridge um, going across the lava river. So it's hot, and we make the Constitution rolls as they're going down the thing. A couple of people took a point damage, and they get out, and so the party's looking for is that spirit guardian still there? Well, it's the fetch of the shaman, and he kind of knows what's going on, and things went bad, so they are hiding out in the city. So no, it's not there. Um, could they have gone back to the library for something? Yeah, they could have. Um, but no, they want to get back to the Earth Temple. I guess to report back to the priestess. Stop him! What did you get? Stop him! Right. So I'm rolling for encounters. No encounters on the way out of the ruins. I was kind of hoping maybe something. No encounters to the Earth Temple, the Greenstone Earth Temple. And I don't recall if it was at this point or later on. I thought it was actually later on as they're traveling to Clearwine and going, oh shoot, because I had planned for as soon as they came out for the dragon from the dragon scenario to actually attack, right? Not them, to attack the ruins, to close it out. That was my plan. Close this thing out. Which then, makes it impossible for people to go down there and get, EWS stuff, right? Um, but I wasn't thinking because I'm trying to react to what's actually happening. So they get to their temple, they do a report, and Juchi's talking about all this dragon stuff, which is kind of cool, right? But dragons are, they're they're different, right? It's not part of the three realms of magic, right? It's not. And everybody's heard stories of dragons with mounds of treasure and destroying villages and towns and stuff, right? So that, and there was the true dragon, which even though it destroyed a lunar empire, a lunar army, terrorized the entire countryside. And when players still going off, well, that's later on. I'll get to that. So, um, I do a reaction roll, and the priestess has a bad reaction to what Juchi is saying, so she's also in these dragons, kind of thing. So she abruptly kind of shuts this off, excuses herself, and leaves. Um, has not interrogation, has gets an after action report from Irvana, and gets a new mission. Watch these guys. We need to know what they're doing. They're messing with stuff that's you do not mess with dragon stuff, and that's what they're doing. Watch them, find out, report back to us, kind of stuff, right? So I managed to keep Irvana in the party. Yay! GM win. Um, so she's in on it, but the rest of the party's not. So if they do spend 3 or 4 days, so they get the clay day, so she can get a minor holy day, rune point regeneration, and then they head to Clearwine. No encounters to Clearwine, but once they get to Blackspear, that's where the dragon scenario comes into place, right? Because as you're moving from Blackspear to Clearwine, there's a dragon that rises up from the ground, flies around you guys, and flies off to the other side, right? And so make the listen rolls first, and Juchi got a crit on his, so he didn't have to make a scan roll. What's that? Fuck, it's a dragon. Um, but the other guys, most of them made their listen roll, so they got a bonus to the scan. That's kind of cool. I like that mechanic, putting that together. I normally just have them roll both, but so a bunch of them see it. Of course, when the Juchi starts pointing out, everybody can see it, and there's flying over it. So there's a couple of them with fear dragons, so they had to roll those. Irvana missed hers. Oh no, Ivana made her fear roll, so she is afraid. Miriam missed her fear roll, so she is not afraid. We had a little conversation about that. Oh, which reminds me, live play, it actually worked this time. My last game, the one I play in, I could not get the screen capture to record voices except for mine. But this time it seemed to capture everything. But as I was double checking last session, I noticed that it caught everybody's voices but mine. So I guess I need to do some more testing before I actually record. But I did do testing this time because I knew there was something wrong, and whatever I did, it fixed. So it should be good to go this time. Okay, fear. The animals all freak, make ride rolls, or you miss, fall off, take a d6, total hit point damage kind of stuff. Nothing specific. Um, and then there's discussion of what we're going to do next. What do you mean? A dragon just took off from the ground and flew out. So I had to make intelligence rolls. Hey, this thing rose from the ground. It was doing something over there. Now, the way I did describe it was the valley past the river, right? And so maybe the thing was just too far to go, but it was actually on this side of the river, but it's just part of that valley kind of thing. Anyway, or maybe they needed it for it. I need to actually dig deep into that map and see how detailed a map I can get on that area. To actually figure out, did they have to cross the river and was there a fording area? But it doesn't matter. But they're talking about, the dragons destroyed the lunar army. I'm not afraid of that. I don't, so what? Dragons are good things. No interest in figuring what's going on. So eventually, thanks to conversation from other players, okay, everybody make an honor roll. Everybody make a loyalty to the Kalimar tribe. Okay, you guys have been emissaries of the queen. This is her land. There's a dragon on it. You need to check out and find out what's going on. Holy cow. So eventually they decide, okay, let's go look at it, check it out. Okay, and there are, mangled animals, half-eaten animals, mangled human corpses, um, a human corpse that is dead but has no signs of physical trauma. And so there's some investigation going on inside the barn. Spoilers, by the way. Sorry, guys. Spoilers. Inside the barn are animals and another person dead. No signs of trauma. Um, Irvana does have treat poison, and so I had her make some first aid rolls and kind of think, like, okay, this could be some kind of a poison. So she starts looking around for, were they drinking something from the well? Where's the well? That kind of stuff, right? Eventually get around to, okay, there's still the what do they call it? They give it a name. The steading is what it is. The house, right? And what they call it? They give it a name. The inner hearth. Okay, it would help to have a display or maybe a little map. That would have been helpful. Um, get to the house, and then of course, Glorantha names, right? And we're talking about an extended family here. So there's the 3 dead people outside. I'm not worried about, but then there's 2 heavily wounded people inside, 2 teenagers, and the wife of the brother, I think it is, right? And she's pregnant, but she's okay. And trying to keep these 5 names straight, um, without having done further, taking notes and done further investigations, because it kind of popped up on me. I wasn't thinking too far in advance. I was hoping they would do some more riddle along. Which reminds me, somebody did do a Resta. Resta did do the riddle thing with the dragon newt, and then get out of here kind of thing. Um, so she learned one of these dragon spells. So I had a chance to talk to the other. After the game was over, David and Juchi and I stayed on, and we discussed this whole indoctrination thing, what they have access to, and well, I didn't describe it as a spirit cult. I did describe it as this dragon's your sensei. The spirit is your sensei. He's going to come and visit with you. This is what you have planned for the future, kind of thing. And then we talked about, above table stuff, Argrath, his sorcerers, that kind of thing. Okay, back to the scenario. Sorry. So, me trying to keep these names straight and describe it to the players, it was kind of a fumble on the GM's part. But we managed to figure out, okay, so they do first aid and heal on the 2 heavily wounded people. And of course, the mothers, they're going, take my child, get the clear wine, tell the queen must know, hurry, hurry, hurry. And Miriam's talking about making funeral pyres for the dead people. Now, if you want to burn a body and you don't have access to natural gas, it takes a lot of flammable wood. A lot. So you're going to spend all freaking day to build 3 funeral pyres, right? And then you got to wait for them to cool down to put the ashes into a jar. We're going to waste our time doing that. Okay. Because you're talking about leaving. Mayor's going to take care of these people. They're not her people. And in my Glorantha, the different cults have different funeral rites, right? For example, the Earth Goddess, you go back to Mother Earth, you bury your dead. Now, Hamakti burning his dead, so they can't come back. All about that. And that's the first time I came across funeral processes and found the thing about Hamakti, they burn their dead. Perfect, yeah, I love that. But Orlanth, the storm god, take the body and put it into a hole up on the top of the hill or the mountains, better yet, and have them get naturally mummified. That's what the Wind Lord would do, right? you know. But she's gonna burn them because that's what she does, so she knows. And I didn't want to jump down the throne. Okay, we'll do funerary processes. Doesn't matter what it really is, right? But they do heal. They do first aid and healing on the 2 heavily wounded people, and let's all go together. They were down to 1 and 2 hit points each from the poison. They figured out that, like talking to the dragon breathed on them, had poison gas breath. And in my Glorantha, you don't stack healing, so you can do first aid, you can do spirit healing, and you can do rune heal wound spell. Right? Those are three different kinds of things, but you can only do that to a limb, an area, once each during combat stuff happens. Right? So you can't just, okay, we're out of combat, let's do our heal one and get our 20 hit points back. I don't do that. Otherwise, there's no need to have a healing rate, a weekly healing rate, because there's somebody in the village, somebody's got heal one, right? And if there's an initiate nearby, lo and behold, every initiate's got cure wounds. Yeah, there's some of this power fluctuation stuff that I just am struggling to get a handle on. And how do you relay? Okay, they only have 4 hit points. Um, I could, modify their movement rate, and those guys gonna be slow. They're gonna move fast. But if you're an actual player playing, and when you get down, well, they've gotten down to that point, but then they've burned rune points and did heal wounds to heal their hit points all the way back up, so they're technically fully healthy, right? But they can't do that. Well, they could. They could burn rune points, but they didn't. So these people only have a handful of hit points. But okay, let's go. Get the story rolling. They come with you. So by the time you get to Clearwine, it's dead of the night. Oh, but Miriam did send her owl ahead, and since Miriam's with the party and the queen knows the party, so the palace knows the owl. Um, the owl kind of reports, "Hey, we ran into this. We're coming. We'll be late." That kind of stuff. I did assume they talked about there being a dragon. So when the party gets there, they're ushered in, and scenario takes over, right? Um, there's some information that the circle here has. I regurgitate parts of that out to the party as we're all talking about. Okay, there's a dragon. Well, we know about this about dragon. We know this story and this story and this story. And Queen Lika's just kind of pacing back and forth, trying to figure out what's going on. And one of the party members mentions, "Does she ask us about the mission?" I had completely forgot about what the purpose of the mission was, but thankfully the players remembered. It was to go investigate what are these baboons doing, and so they get to tell their story about that. And at that point, one of the players had to go, so we just kind of canceled it there, waiting for Queen Laika's decision, kind of thing, right? Because in the scenario they talk about, okay, why is there a dragon out? Well, maybe the dragon rise actually did something to dragons, bothered or not irritated, empowered dragon spirits, and so these dream dragons are popping up and stuff like that maybe. um, but for me it's that dragon stuff going off with the EWF folks in that hero realm thing. That's probably what spurred this on. Um, and so they're not really going to blame the players, but the players are going to be blame adjacent. Okay, so that's where we are on. I'm going to finish up. Oh, the last chapter of this storyline is the Dragon of Thunderhills from the GM pack, and that will close out this entire storyline. But keep things going forward, and as I'm trying to piece things together, this information pops up, this information pops up. Hey, let's tie this together. Argrath is doing the tour, right? And he has left Clearwine already. It would have been cool if they would have been there for that, but hey. Um, so Argrath is actually, he's at the Milani place. Shoot, I forgot. It's not Two Stones. Two Fort? Two Fort Hill, whatever it is, but he's doing the Milani thing now. Now there is going to be an issue because he's putting his own person in Milani. She's just been here with Queen Laika, who has um, um, acknowledged him, right? But she has been pushing to keep control of the Red Bird area. I forgot what that clan is there, because of what she and the Kalimar tribe have been doing there to help them that the Malay tribe was not able to help with. Um, And plus she's trying to increase her power base. So there's two other clans she's trying to get back control of. But now it's going to be some kind of arbitration with Argrath, who's got his guy on that side, and her and what she's been doing on this side. I have to play some of that out in my head. But he's getting ready to head towards Boldholm next. So we'll see how things go with that. But then he's got his magical troop, right? And part of his magical troop are dragon magicians. So that's how I was going to pull the party. Okay, we're going to start working for Argrath because we're all part of this dragon thing. Except we're not. We're two sister-owned homes to investigate and find out these nifty new powers that some of us are learning, but not all of us. C'est la vie. Happy gaming.